Maybe this is good. I'm just gonna do this. Just make it really awkward for all of us. Especially me, because I'm in this room by myself. Why do people fear losing things that they don't even have yet? Here we go. What's up, team? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology. So I was thinking about this question and it tickles me. Tickles me in all the right places to think about it because it's funny. I mean, of course, I've been through it, and you've probably been through it too, where you just you put time or energy or thought process or feelings into something, and then you just don't want to let it go. And this could be with things that you don't have yet, but it's also things that you've invested in, right? And so I kind of want to talk a little bit about the sunken cost fallacy, which is basically we make irrational choices because of putting putting our value into something, and until we get the return that we're looking for, we just keep doing it. In Japan here, we have, and I mean, you got these too in the States, I'm sure, the crane games, right? That you play in an arcade and you put the money in, you control it like a little robot that you wish you were in, and it goes down and it picks up like an item, a stuffed animal or something like that, and it moves and it drops it right away, right? That's, I think, there's standard process for those machines. In Japan, they're called UFO catchers. And I watched my ESTJ friend. This is way back in the day. This was in 2003 when I first came to Japan. So I was a wee boy of 18 years old, and I was with an ESTJ friend at the time, and he loved the UFO catchers. He put money in and lost, and put money in and lost and lost and lost. He ended up spending about $50 or 5,000 yen at the time to get this stupid little slime. And it was just because he was like, I've invested in it. I can't stop now. I gotta keep going until I get this thing. But yeah, so that is my connection to this question of why do people fear losing things that they don't have yet? If he didn't get that, he would feel that he lost something. And yes, he did lose money, but also he would feel that he lost the opportunity to get that thing. Let's rewind a little bit. Okay, let's rewind. This all comes back to FOMO. It's fear of missing out, right? If you go into a circumstance, you want to go to a party, right? But you can't go because you got to do something else. There's this fear of losing the opportunities that would have come about. And I mean, I live in this with INFP personality type. It's and I'm sure many NPs in general can understand this. There are so many different pathways and opportunities, and when you choose one, all the others go away. They vanish into the trolly little land of opportunities, and you can never get them back. And that's awful. That's such a bad feeling because it makes it so difficult to make decisions because you know that there are so many different possibilities. And if you choose that one, well, you could be missing out on the opportunity of your lifetime. The possibilities, the exceptions, the things, the one little thing that's going to make your whole life better. The one person that you might meet if you were to have taken this route and then this one and this one. And another example here, I was doing some paperwork, and it took me 5 hours, and I got nowhere. I got nowhere. I can't say literally, but I was looking at the same websites and the same printed pages for 5 hours. And at the end, I didn't get anywhere. I couldn't send it in. I couldn't finish it. Because of errors and all these other stupid things that felt like they were out of my control. But I felt like I had to continuously keep going because of the time and the energy, my value that I put into that, right? And it just sucked. It made me so frustrated by the end of the day. Like I was in a really bad way. I had to go for a little walk and use my binaural beats and, refresh my mind. Drank a little, just a little. And eventually I came back to a better state of mind. Got some hugging in with my daughter and my wife, But when we get into these positions, I think the best thing that we can do, and this is something that I need to constantly remind myself of too, is to just be happy with what we have. And ENTJ said on the Discord channel, and I'm probably going to butcher this because I butcher quotes, but basically like it was, you make the best choice with the information that you have at the time. And that's all you can do. Like you have to be okay with that. Like, okay, this is what I had available. This is the most efficient, effective, the correct, the best fitting choice that I can possibly make at that time. And don't hate on yourself for that. Accept that. Accept that, like, another person probably would have made the same choice if they had the same information, if they had the same outcome in mind. And if that was what was available for them, then that's fine. They made their best choice, and you can do the same thing too. And just don't hate on yourself for it. Just be like, that's it. I'm going to move on. I made this choice. And that choice actually could expand out into other possibilities and other potential that you don't see right now. And I'm sure you've done this before too. Like you've made choices that at that time you didn't think anything about it, but eventually through the interconnected web of experiences and possibilities and coincidences, something comes out of that. When you make a choice, something emerges out of that, right? A new possibility, right? And with that, you make a new choice. And with that comes another possibility, another opportunity, and many different interconnected ones. And what you do now might not seem extremely important. It might not seem like it was the best choice. But through all these different possibilities happening and all these different experiences, and with the mindset of, I'm going to use what I have to the best of my ability, you end up in a good position, right? With that awareness, that wisdom, you're able to take advantage of the possibilities when they come. So I guess my one little piece of advice here to wrap this whole thing up is you don't know what's going to happen. And so if you're worried about missing out or losing something that you don't even have, then you're going to miss out on all the different possible good things that could come. If you're so focused over here, you might overlook this whole area. You might not look behind you. You might not look to the side, right? There's tons of things that are going on that you could have, but if you're so focused on, oh, I might lose this, I might not get this thing that I want, then you're eventually, I feel, you're going to put too much time and energy and value into trying to get this thing that might not actually even be the best thing for you. And it's good to have goals. I'm not saying don't have goals. I'm not saying don't aim for something. But when you're aiming for it, try to keep your vision open. Try to use your peripheral vision and see what's going on around you and see like, well, actually, maybe I should be aiming over here. Maybe I should go in this direction. All right. So I hope that this video was helpful, and I hope that it gave you some ideas, some things to think about as well. All right. Keep up the lifelong questing. Good luck. Have fun. Peace. 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 I feel like I should do a dance. Not awkward at all.